What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos, as well as hit that notification bell by the subscribe button, hit that Cash App, hit the like button, hit the share, hit the subscribe, hit all that. You know what I'm saying? Help your brother out, get them likes up, get them likes up, get them likes up. You know what I'm saying? If you guys like to donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, as like I said, the Cash App, $ BJ Matthews, PayPal at Broderick Masters, you know what I'm saying? Always the support that we appreciate what y'all do for us, man, for all the content that we drop for y'all, as well as also the super comments or super chat, super sticker. You can do that as well in the comment section right below this video. Definitely appreciate everybody with their support. Let's get it popping. All right, man. NBA playoffs 2023 continues. You know what I'm saying? The Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets play in game 2. You know what I'm saying? Both a Western Conference showdown. You know what I'm saying? We're in round 2 of the playoffs with the Denver Nuggets going up 2-0 tonight over the Phoenix Suns. And they won by 10 points, 87-97. Not a high-scoring game. Both teams were not exactly efficient from the field as they wanted to be. But nonetheless, the Denver Nuggets were victorious. They protected home court. Now it's the Phoenix Suns' turn. Listen, we have got to have this discussion about the Phoenix Suns. And I think it's a perfect time to do this because, you know, the Suns over the last 2-3 seasons have been one of the, premier teams to be talked about. You talk about the last 3 years, they went to the finals in 2021. They got to the second round 2022 as the first seed. And this year, they're the fourth seed as well. But they add on, of course, Kevin Durant to their team. So they've been the talk of the town over the last 3 seasons. Of course, NBA seasons change every single year, but the Suns have been relevant over the last 3 years, right? The core of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and now Kevin Durant are in an uphill battle against a fully loaded Denver Nuggets team. And I say fully loaded, and I'm going to say that as in a way that's going to be very important because, I got some questions about the Phoenix Suns, right? So before the trade for Kevin Durant, this was the starting 5 of the Phoenix Suns. You had Chris Paul, you had Devin Booker, you had Mikal Bridges, you had Jay Crowder, and you had DeAndre Ayton. This is the team that got to the finals in 2021, right? This is the team that had the winningest record in the NBA just last season. This was a team that was, supposed to be looked at as one of the premier teams in the Western Conference. Well, after giving that embarrassing loss against the Dallas Mavericks last season, they decided to trade away, some key pieces. I'm talking about Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, and also Jay Crowder to get a third star, I guess you could say, in Kevin Durant. KD, one of the top 15 to 20 greatest players of all time, one of the greatest scorers of all time, 7 feet, you guys know the story. I ain't got to go through everything. Y'all know who Kevin Durant is. Like he says, y'all know who I am. That's who Kevin Durant right now, the Suns traded for. But it's got to be said, man. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to try to keep it as respectful as I can, but I have to make this point. The Suns lost to the Denver Nuggets tonight. And I've been saying this ever since last year. I've been saying this. The Suns, who have they beaten in the playoffs when they're at full strength? And when I talk about full strength, I mean they're not missing their top guys. Over the last 3 seasons, who can y'all name the Phoenix Suns have beaten when they're at full strength? Because if we're going to be honest, the Suns have faced teams that's been depleted. You talk about 2021, who they face, right? First round, they faced the LA Lakers. They beat them in 6 games, but Anthony Davis missed 3 out of the 6 games in that series. No problem. Second round, they go to place the Denver Nuggets, a depleted Denver Nuggets team, right? They face a depleted Denver Nuggets team where they were able to prevail over Nikola Jokic and sweep him in 4 games. They got a break there. Then you go to 2022, or you go to the third round. They face the Los Angeles Clippers, and that's when the Clippers were really clicking. They got to the conference finals, but they were missing a star player in Kawhi Leonard. Right, so three straight series in 2021. The Phoenix Suns got a break in every single series. Let's go to last season in 2022. They faced the New Orleans Pelicans in the first round. They win in 6 games after a great performance from Chris Paul. But they're missing their star player Zion Williamson. Right, they missing Zion Williamson in the first round. You know what I'm saying? The New Orleans Pelicans, a very, very gritty team that matched up pretty well against the Phoenix Suns as far as their defense, because they were able to guard multiple positions. And also they were very athletic and they were scrappy. So they made it very, very challenging for the Phoenix Suns in 6 games, but they're missing their star player Zion Williamson. You go to this year, again, they face a depleted Clippers team, and I still don't understand. I cannot fathom how 2 straight times they faced a team in the LA Clippers who were not even fully healthy. And this year it was worse because what they did, they faced a team that not only was missing Kawhi Leonard, but Paul George at the same time. Paul George doesn't play a single game in that series. Kawhi Leonard is assumedly the first 2 games he plays great out of his mind. He's the best player on the court, right? At 38 points in game 1, 31 points in game 2. It looks like the Clippers might have a chance to beat them without PG, and then Kawhi Leonard's announced with a knee sprain, which turned into being a torn meniscus. So they've gotten break after break after break, and they've been able to prevail. No problem. Like, what I'm saying? You play who's in front of you. You play who's in front of you, and then that's pretty much what it is. But this is why I say what I say about the Phoenix Suns. They have to beat a team when it's actually fully healthy, because when they actually face a team that's fully healthy, this is what happens. They go up against Giannis Antetokounmpo in the 2021 finals. They lose 4 straight games 3, 4, 5, and 6. Giannis Antetokounmpo has a 40-piece on the Phoenix Suns in game 6, and he gets his first championship. Right? The Suns had momentum going into that series. They had the 2-0 lead, and then they get beat 4 straight games. So they didn't even win a game after game 2. Okay, no problem. You go into last season, what happens? You got Luka Doncic, who, again, the first couple games, the Suns look like they're overmatching the Dallas Mavericks. And then games 3 and 4, Dallas Mavericks, tie the series up. Game 5, here comes the Suns. And then game 6, Mavs, beat them, by 20 points. So going into game 7, I was looking at like the Mavs are going to win this series. Because, again, remember, the playoffs is all about momentum. So if you have a team, you're going 7 games, usually, unless you're like a championship team like Golden State, the way the series pretty much ends up, ultimately swinging is the team that has the momentum, meaning the team that won previously or the team that's on a roll is usually the team that, more times than not will win that series. And the Mavericks, to me, had the momentum going to that series because not only they could not do nothing with Luka Doncic, but also Chris Paul was falling into, a slump. I think he played bad for 4 straight games, multiple turnovers, multiple bad shooting nights. DeAndre Ayton in game 7 had to be pulled out of the game. Chris Paul had, I think, 5 points in that game 7. And Devin Booker didn't show up as well. So just all in all, their team was just pretty much shot. And you could kind of tell from, the jump that they were, pretty much doomed because, they had no answer for Luka. They had them down, I think, by, I want to say 40 points almost in the first half. So it was just, a massacre. And then you look at this series right now, this season, the Nuggets are up 2-0 against the Phoenix Suns. And after watching these first 2 games, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I don't see the Suns winning this series because I think the Nuggets are just too complete of a team. And I feel like the Suns cannot get to a level that the Nuggets can get to as a team because they haven't been there long enough. Remember, they traded away their depth to get KD. They traded away pieces to get a star player. I'm getting to KD in a minute because I think people have to start, being honest about what they're seeing with Kevin Durant, right? But if we look at, what I'm saying, the stats, I said the only way the Suns can win this series, they have a few things they have to do. Like I said, when I go into a full series, like in the playoffs, I say games one and two. Games one is the feel out game, the game that both teams just go out there and play. You're gonna have some, what I'm saying, kinks. You might have some things that you might not be used to. That's the time to get it all out in game one. Then you go to game two and game three. Those are the adjustment games. Those are the games that you take from game one and you see what you did good, you see what you did bad, you study the film, and you try to correct them in those two games, games two and three, for both teams, not just the winning team, not just the losing team, but both teams. They have, a way to adjust on watching, the first game, right? And then games 4 through 7, if necessary, are all just a straight execution and grit because you pretty much know what both teams are going to do. So it's all about your execution and how well what I'm saying, you run your plays, you run your system, your sets, um, playing with emotion, energy, and grit. That's pretty much what it comes down to in games 4 through 7, in my opinion. So I said, okay, let's go into game one. The Nuggets have home court advantage. They beat the Suns pretty good. I think 107 to 125. I said, okay, yeah, it looks, it is what it is. I'm gonna wait after game two. Okay, here comes game two. I said, okay, the only way the Suns can win this series is if Devin Booker and Kevin Durant both go for 30 points. Nothing less, nothing more. Nothing less. I'm sorry, you can always have more, but nothing less than 30 points each, because the thing with the Nuggets, I think they had 6 guys in double figures last game. So it was just more than Jamal Murray just having a field day on offense, but you had Aaron Gordon in double figures. You had Michael Porter Jr. in double figures. You had KCP in double figures. You had Nikola Jokic in double figures. You had multiple guys in double figures where everybody was sharing the wealth, and the game was very, very fun for the Nuggets to play. But then you look at the Suns, it's the same old same, top heavy, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. That's what they're going with. That's what it was when you got Kevin Durant on the team. That's just the bottom line. So with that being said, it's very hard to beat a team that has an actual system and scheme in place that they've been running for, the last 3-4 seasons, which is through Nikola Jokic. And then pretty much all the role players, hit shots. They, what I'm saying, they tag along. And here comes Jamal Murray, who's healthy, who actually, what I'm saying, controls the offensive side of the ball. So in looking to this series, I said KD and Booker have to go for 30. They have to play at the level that they were signed up to play at. Right? They have to play at all-star, superstar levels. That's required. That's not an option. That's required. And then you look at Chris Paul. He's going to have to be ultra aggressive. Now, here's the thing that I knew Chris Paul was probably going to run into. Now, he was playing a lot of minutes in that first series against the Clippers, 38, 40 plus minutes. Remember, Chris Paul's at age 37 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's no longer, 25 and 27 and 31, what I'm saying, 33. Like, he's no longer, young like that. Now you're talking about a dude in his upper 30s while he still can, what I'm saying, play with it, because he has the cerebral, his mind. He just doesn't have the motor, and no longer does he have the ability to play those amount of games or amount of minutes. And Chris Paul has been injury prone over the last, few years anyway, since pretty much they met to the Clippers. Hamstrings, groins, what else? Leg injuries, and all types of stuff Chris Paul has experienced. So as you get older, it's only going to continuously be little nicks and knacks. Now this dude has a left groin injury. So you're dealing with groins. I don't know how much, Chris Paul, is affected by it, but usually you're out for probably a week. Depends who how much your tolerance can be, but that's what it comes down to. And if you're not out for a week, then you're going to be limited. Right? So that's what Chris Paul is dealing with right now. So things are not looking very good with the Suns. Now, if we look at the statistics, um, you see most of the guys you only have three guys in double figures. That's Katie, that's DeAndre A, and that's Devin Booker. Excuse me. Top heavy. That's worse than the first game. That's worse than the first game because the first game at least you had more guys in double figures. But then again, they still lost. They lost by more the first game than they did the second game. So that's why when people ask me, okay, what can the Suns do to adjust? Well, really, it's not even about adjustments. It's about basically doing what the game plan tells you to do, and the Suns have not done that. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul had, he played 25 minutes, so I'm not gonna really count this game, but you know, it's only so much you can really ask for Chris Paul to do because of his age. He has to deal with Jamal Murray on the other end, and then you got so many of those scrappy guards on the Nuggets where they're gonna, be a hounding Chris Paul. I'm talking about Bruce Brown, talking about KCP. Hell, even Jamal Murray at times. I'm pretty sure, play defense. As Jamal Murray, he's 6'4". Like he's not exactly, small. He's pretty big. He's 6'4". So um, most of these, they just have a lot of different things they can throw at Chris Paul. And they're speeding him up. They're making them have to play fast. They're making them play at a pace that, Chris Paul doesn't really want to have to deal with. He wants to, set up, his guys and his sets, walk the ball up, not have to, push it all the time. That's what I think the Nuggets are pretty much doing. And, you look at their bench. Once again, their bench is not very good. Now, I know that Monty Williams tried to, make an adjustment by playing their bench guys, but, they just don't have it, man. I mean, Cameron Payne 1 for 7 from the field. He went 0 for 4 from 3, had 2 points in 17 minutes. David Lee had 26 minutes, 0 points, 0 for 5 from the field. You know what I'm saying? Josh Okogie, 22 minutes, 2 points. Like, seriously, 1 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from the 3. Like, come on, man. Like, this is really just, a situation where they just don't have nobody. Torrey Craig, 11 minutes, the same dude who was on fire in the first series, turns around and has 2 3-point attempts from the 3 and misses them both at 0 minutes. So I think it's more about just the Suns bench is not very, good. And also you playing on Denver's home court. So it's, it could be a problem with the elevation, but I'm not going to even use that. I'm just going to see like the Suns they're just not good on the bench and they're using their guys to be top heavy. So if you're going to do that, if y'all going to be top heavy, then your guys have to actually outperform the other team's best players. Okay, because D Book had 35 points. He shot, around 50% from the field, 4 for 8 from the 3. So that he pretty much did his thing. Devin Booker had 35 points. But this is what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about Kevin Durant. And make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all come in here. Again, this video is not live. This is pre-recorded. I'm doing a lot of these pre-recorded videos, just so I could save time and get these content out for y'all. So y'all just remember hit the like button as y'all come in. But we gotta talk about KD, man. I said this last series. I've been saying this for a while now that Kevin Durant, we're starting to see the decline of Kevin Durant. And I don't think people actually shed enough light on how much Kevin Durant is declining. They still think this is the same guy, from Golden State, the same guy from OKC, the same guy. Hell, even from I won't even say that, but pretty much pre Achilles injury. And he's just not the same guy. He had a great, comeback season that first year with Brooklyn. Played great. He was playing well actually this year too. At the beginning of the season, he was having one of his best defensive years, to be quite honest with you. But I'm seeing like his ability to, drive past defenders. He doesn't have the same first step. He doesn't have the same handle. He wants to just pull up and shoot over you. Well, when you're dealing with a team like, Denver, who has some length on them, you can't just always pull up and shoot. They're going to make you take tough shots as well as they're physical as well. So KD, what I've noticed throughout the years has, I won't say entirely, but he does have a little bit of an issue with physical basketball sometimes. You mean, look at the Boston Celtics, physical. You look at the last round against the Clippers, physical. Russell Westbrook, chasing him on the floor. They had Eric Gordon guard him. You had multiple people on Kevin Durant who was actually putting some bodies on him, and they I pretty much think, wore him down. Right? And now I look at this Nuggets series, I'm seeing the same thing. They're making them play fast. They're making them make, quick decisions. He shot 10 for 27 from the field. Like, I can't remember a time, and he shot 2 for 12 from 3. I can't remember a time when KD was ever that inefficient. If there's one thing that KD, prides himself on, is being efficient from the field. And I think sometimes that's, he's too cautious over his efficiency instead of actually trying to take over the game. But tonight he tried. He tried to take over the game. He had 27 shots. But, in the fourth, I noticed he missed a lot of threes. And he's settling for those threes a lot because he just doesn't have the same, first step he once had. He doesn't have the same, handle he once had. So you're now dealing with, a guy who's just 35 years old. Obviously, like I said, he's great. Top 15, top 20 player of all time, but he just doesn't have the same, burst that he once did, man. And I think people are, living in the past when they keep acting like Kevin Durant is still that guy that you can look at and say, well, just, give me the ball and get out the way. Like, he's struggling. I'm starting to think Devin Booker is the number one on this team as far as option. I expected Kevin Durant to have a great game from the field, scoring the ball tonight, but he shot, bad from the field. So I pretty much was clear. I said, in order for the Suns to have any chance, KD and Devin Booker both have to go for 30 plus. They cannot do anything less than that. If they do, they're going to lose. They had Booker go for 35. You had KD go for 24. That's not going to cut it. It has to be on some Kobe, Shaq, Kyrie, LeBron, scoring type of thing, man. Like, it can't be no one guy goes for 35 one night, the other one goes for 23, 24, and the other night the guy goes for 38, the other guy goes for 22 or 23. Like, it has to both be a collective partnership between Booker and KD. They're both going to score 30 points each every single night. Now, Booker played 45 minutes to KD's 44. So that's enough minutes to accumulate 30 points each. If that means you got to take, shots off of, some of your role players, so be it. I mean, you're KD, you're Kevin Durant. Nobody's going to say what they're going to say. Oh, give me the ball. Like, no, you ain't producing on the offense end, so you're not getting the ball. That's all you have to pretty much say. Nobody really even question you if you even did that. But this is why I tell people about KD and that, that mentality of, trying to take over. You know what I'm saying? I think KD wants to be so part of the system and play, within the system, that he forgets that he needs his team to, allow him to be the takeover guy. I think Booker did a good job tonight. I just think that KD didn't come with him. And then you see Chris Paul grabbing his groin. He's only going to be so effective. DeAndre Ayton is going to be so effective because a lot of the offense that goes through DeAndre is because of Chris Paul. So now with that problem is out, with Chris Paul's not being there, that's going to take away touches from DeAndre Ayton. Right? So I just think that the Nuggets have, too many weapons personally for the Suns. I'll wait after game 3 to see what happens if the Suns win, but I don't like the win how they do it, then I'm pretty much going to call the series, pretty much done. Because even if a team wins a game, if I don't like how their personnel, their makeup is built or how they're playing, then I'm going to be like, yeah, they're not going to win the series. Because, and really, Denver's really been having its way with Phoenix, this season anyway. That goes back to what I said, that, the regular season does matter. Because, again, it comes down to matchups when it comes to playoff basketball. So if I had a team that beat you in 3 out of 4 games, that's a good measuring stick to see what's going to happen in the playoffs, because the matchups are going to be the same. The players are going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to change. But people be like, oh, no, this regular season doesn't matter. Man, regular season doesn't matter. It's just about the playoffs. You worry about the season too much, BJ. You know what I'm saying? Why you worry about the season? I worry about the season because, number one, if the season don't matter, then why do they play it? That's the first thing. And it's an 82-game season, so there's more season games than playoff games. So obviously the season matters. And let me ask you a question: if the season doesn't matter, then why does that determine who makes the playoffs? So if you don't have a good season, you're not going to be eligible to be for the playoffs. So I get annoyed here about that. The season doesn't matter. I mean, the season matters because that's the way you build continuity and chemistry and actually understand, a real system. The Suns don't have that. The Suns have been dealing with, these trades and getting rid of, their guys that they had, previously. They have to get, KD up to speed. And I don't doubt that KD can't do it, but you're going up against a team who's been doing it year in and year out. They're the number 1 seed for a reason. They're a consistent team led by a 2-time, MVP. And shout out to Nikola Jokic, man. Like, that dude is somebody, he just does the right plays at the right time, man. And I see why players have a hard time dealing with him, because while he's not quick, he's not very athletic, he's not this, that, and the other, just his mentality, how he thinks the game, how he sees a play before it happens, how he's able to, do things to kind of, throw his defender off, not being the quickest person on the court. He understands how to actually use his body. So you don't really see Jokic really, out of breath. You don't really see Jokic, rushing, because he understands that basketball's a thinking man's game. Dude can't jump over, a curve, but because he's able to use his, girth and his size and his mind, he feel like he can pretty much take anybody, and I don't blame him. Right? So shout out to Nikola Jokic, but again, the Suns, like I said, who have the Suns beat in an actual real series? Who have they beat in the playoffs that's been fully healthy with their guys? Like, I ain't never seen the Suns really beat a team. So it doesn't surprise me this is happening, because they're not really tested. They're not really, well, actually, I wouldn't say they're tested. I say when they get tested, they end up, coming short. The Milwaukee Bucks in the finals, Luka Doncic in Game 7 last season, and now Nikola Jokic. No one, not one of those, not one of them faced the actual fully loaded team. Well, now they are. And I hope they can, Nah, actually, no, I don't hope they can pull up. They talk too much trash. Anyway, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull it out. Peace. Out of here like swim well.